Hey, it's Mike Stickler here with Leadership Books. Just giving you a little author tip, what publishers are looking at and what's best for your work. Think about, well, before we get started, I want to remind you, please like and share this. If you find this content interesting or helpful, please share it. That's the best way to get some of this information out. And so I appreciate that. So it's come to my attention here recently that lots of authors have been thinking about using Chat GPT and other AI formats to write their book. There's even so-called gurus out there who are suggesting that you could write your book real quickly on Chat GPT and then publish it and become a millionaire or whatever they're thinking. So right about the beginning of the year, Joseph Baker, our marketing director, kind of introduced me to Chat GPT and also Chuck Harmon, our acquisitions director, and he said, hey, why don't you play with this a little bit? So I started playing with it. I started to write some things with it. I started to write some blogs at first, and then I did some persuasive writing, and I messed around with it for quite a bit. And in fact, my wife Faith thinks it's kind of funny because while I'm watching TV, I'm just playing with it and trying to experience it. And just to be frank, most of all the stuff that I've been doing is with ChatGPT, okay? And some with Quillbot, but mostly with ChatGPT. And so what I did was I found that there's a couple things to know. When you use it and you just ask it to create something whole cloth, it really doesn't do much. It falls really short. It doesn't have much of a voice. It kind of reads like stereo instructions, quite frankly. And I would suggest you just don't even try that. But if you add your own content, your own ideas, maybe you've written something and then you want to add it to it. Maybe you've written a chapter and you add it and ask it to improve it. It can be pretty fun. It's going to be about the prompts. Again, there's a bunch of gurus out there that are telling you, that it's all about the prompts. You got to have the magical prompts to put in it. Magical, I don't agree with, but prompts, yes. And so if you cut and paste your own material into it and then you prompt it to change it, prompt it to write it this way, add characters, however you want to do it, it's kind of fun. But still, it falls too short. It's something that I wouldn't want to publish, and I don't think our acquisition team would receive it. It's dry. You as an author, if you're going to write, you want to dump your guts into it, your voice, your passion, your pain, your fear, your sarcasm, your wit. All of that needs to go into this book that you're writing. You want to write a book that people are going to read. Remember, 57% of all people put a book down that they purchase and never pick it up again. And that, in my view, is the author's fault. So don't do that. What I suggest you do is sit down and do the hard work of dumping your guts onto the keyboard. Really put your passion into it. I don't suggest necessarily that you really try to write to a particular style, like, I don't know, 21st century or 19th century novels. Sorry, I couldn't come up with a century. You get my point. What I really encourage you to do is be you and tell that story, share that vision that you have in writing. Now, if you want to take some of that and put it back up with ChatGPT and have that play with it a little bit and maybe improve on it a little bit, that's one thing. See it as a tool, not as a creative thing, but as a tool to improve your writing. But be careful because it has a tendency to strip away your voice. That very thing I'm asking you for, it gets stripped away. Be careful about it. So to write a book, I don't think AI today is really going to help you with that. But I would encourage you to use it in other ways. I've played with it and done some persuasive writing. I've used it for doing some advertisement, even tried some blogs. I don't think they're necessarily the greatest, but you see where I'm going with it? It doesn't have access to the internet, so it's not going to be able to pull data out and actually apply that into a blog or an article you're writing. Plus the fact that I'm hearing reports more and more that Google is now change their algorithm so that it will identify blogs that are written from artificial intelligence, and then they're penalizing your SEO for that. So that's probably not something you want to do, start crashing your SEO. especially with blogs. So there's a couple things just to think about with it. Where it's going, I don't know. You don't know, but it's pretty cool what it's doing. So I say use it, have fun with it. By the way, the other things it could do is some simple. It does, some job descriptions and things like that I think is pretty helpful. I really don't think overall it's going to replace an author anytime soon, not the creativity that God's given each and every one of us. So that's my view. I hope it helps. It's an author tip for today. I hope you like this. If you do, make sure again that you click like and share this. Make sure that you subscribe so that we can hang on to talking to you more and more. I hope it's helpful. And I pray that God just blesses each and every one of you every day.